Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to sit here and ramble for a little bit while I type up finish up a couple of documents for my, for videos. And I figured I'd give y'all a peek into my brain and an opportunity to answer some of the questions that I've been getting. This will cover all of my channels, so hopefully you subscribe to all of them. I know not all of you do, because I look at the numbers, but it's okay. Some of y'all don't like horror movies, and some of you don't give a crap about action figures or toys, so that's perfectly fair. Right now, I'm working on a video called The 100 Essential Comedies. It's a video I'm doing for my other channel, other relatively new channel, Breeze Millennial Flicks. So if you haven't subscribed to Breeze Millennial Flicks, please do so. If I don't have a link in the community section under my page, get out. Go, you got food and water, and we've already cuddled today. Cat, go. Alright. Sorry, he likes to be needy sometimes. Alright. So, I plan on doing... What was I talking... What was I already lost track. 100 Essential Comedies. Oh yeah, Breeze Millennial Flicks. If I don't have it currently in a link to it, I will put a link to it down below. Or, I mean, in the, channel section of my, you know, the featured channels section of my channel. I have another new channel that I just started. First videos for that are going online today. It's called Bree the Builder. It'll be my Minecraft exclusive channel. Now I am going to start doing Let's Plays of retro games on Bree Plays Games. That's my other Let's Play channel, but I wanted a specific Minecraft channel so that I can claim I'm a Minecraft YouTuber. Gotta have a smoke break real quick. I hope everybody enjoys what I do. I do have some fun videos coming today, hopefully. Alongside this video. I got some movie topics, some technology topics, probably some fun stuff just in general. I kind of want to take another look at a topic I've done previously and dive a little deeper into it. And who knows? Maybe I'll get some fun ideas as I start recording. I would like to ask everybody to please keep watching my shorts. YouTube really likes to push the shorts really hard. And that helps the channel grow more than anything. Also, leaving a comment, hopefully a nice or respectable comment. You can disagree with me, but please don't attack my gender or sexuality or say rude things about my weight. My girlfriend thinks I'm beautiful. She actually is beautiful, but I'm not going to share pictures of her. If you follow me on Blue Sky, you can find pictures of her because I linked to her profile as my girlfriend. Anyways, just a quick update. Last weekend, this past Saturday, I should say, I was volunteering at the booth for Trans Affirm at the local Pride, and I had a lot of fun meeting people and handing out freebies and talking to people about gender stuff. It was really cool. A lot of young people, which really warms my heart. I even had a couple of them say they don't care if it's ever against the law, they're going to keep being trans. So good for them. Us older queers, trans and non-trans LGBT people, need to stick up for the younger generation, you know. I know the older generation, you know, did their best to stick up for us. Most of them, you know, were more secretive and less out than we are, but things have improved a lot, but they're trying to reverse a lot of the headway we've made. To that end, I am going to do a video on two trans icons who were integral in the starting of the Pride movement, the gay rights movement that turned into Pride, what we call today. So definitely check out that video, please, for Pride Month. Also, I have an announcement. I was officially invited to participate in Magic Valley Comic Con again this year. I went last year as a speaker. I don't know if they need me to come as a speaker or if I even want to be a speaker this year. But I am attending officially as a member of the press. They're going to give me a press pass, and I am coming as a volunteer, so I'll be serving 2 functions. And I am going to the organizational meeting next week, so I'll have more information at that time. And I guess Buddy's just going to be in the video. So everybody say hi to Buddy. His full name is Johnny Cage Buddy Buddykins III. I added the third recently because, you know, he was 3 years old when I got him. He's not the third Buddykins that I've ever had. My previous cat, her name was Chloe, and the cat I had before her, his name was Grayson. And those are all the cats I've had since I was a kid. I had one cat that lasted for a couple of years. Her name was Creeper, spelled with a K. And all of the rest of the cats in my life either were my sister's kittens or they were my kittens, but they didn't get past the kitten stage because, unfortunately, I wasn't really responsible as a kid. And I didn't take care of them proper, and sometimes they got out, and they got out into the road, and, well, that's that. We don't need to dig into the deeperness. Oh, Buddy is saying hi. He loves you guys. He is not camera shy at all. He's like, excuse me, I'm here too. Yes, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Look, rub his chin. He loves it. Ah, yes, he does. Yes, he does. There's a spot, you can't see this, but there's a spot, if I scratch him right here, he will lick his front paw. Every single time. Right now, I'm just working on my list of the 100 essential comedies. I'm going to try to do another list of 100 essential action movies. But I don't know if I can come up with 100 action movies I like that aren't also going to just be sci-fi MCU movies. So that one's going to be a challenge. So I might just do 50. We'll see. These will be on my channel, Breeze Millennial Flicks. Just in case I didn't mention that. Or in case y'all already forgot. I'm at number 74 right now. So I got a few more to go. But I'm making pretty good headway. There's a lot of pretty good comedies out there. Okay, so while we're on that subject, I have another update-ish. I recently had a friend help me pay some of my bills, and they also gave me a little extra to renew my PlayStation Plus. So I am available to play online games with my friends. So if you follow me on Blue Sky, or if you're one of my other friends who I'm friends with on Facebook, you're welcome to send me an invite on PlayStation Plus. Or if you are a Patreon member and you're in the Discord, which the Discord link is a perk for Patreon members, then feel free to comment in there that you want to play video games. If you're not on PlayStation, the game has to have PlayStation crossplay. Otherwise, it has to be a PlayStation 4 game or a PlayStation 5 game that has crossplay with the PS4 version. It doesn't necessarily have to be a game I own because I have the PlayStation Plus with the premium, so I can sample games. So, you know, if it's one of the games that's on PlayStation Plus Premium, then we can play that. We can try that. Just wanted to put that out there. And yeah, I've been making a lot of progress in my personal life and doing a lot of networking and volunteering and getting involved actively in the community. So I'm expecting things will go well for me in the near future, hopefully. Still looking for a job. Unfortunately, I lost my job last month. And it's been difficult. But we'll see how it goes. Gotta take a Tums. I'm having heartburn. Buddy is so cute. Isn't he cute, y'all? Don't you just think he's adorable? He's a very pretty kitty. He's an orange cat, so he's dumb blonde. Eek! He's not the brightest tool in the shed. I'll admit that openly. He, you know, I won't say he gets into trouble, but he gets himself into places he can't get out of without assistance. And he does the stupid thing all cats do, where he screams his head off at the door to go out, gets to the front of the porch, changes his mind, scratches at the door to come in, comes in, I close the door, and then he's screaming at the door to go out again. The doofus. The dingle dork. But he's also my Buddykins. I tried to upgrade him to Buddy Kensington, but he's not that fancy, and neither one of us are British, so sorry. I have a lot of Canadian friends. I have one Polish friend who lives in Poland. I have one friend, Ray, who lives in the Netherlands. They're one of my best friends. My best friend, not my girlfriend. My girlfriend lives in Canada, but my best friend also lives in Canada. And I have a few other Canadian friends. So I'm sorry to the Canadians if I make jokes about Canada. I'm an American. It's going to happen. To the British, I don't believe Britain's a real place. It's a fairy tale world that people made up. I've never been there, so I can't prove that it's real. And unless you're going to take me there on a boat, I will not ever get on another plane in my life. Unless you're going to take me there in a boat, or if they ever build an underwater train, I'm not going to know if Britain's a real place. So, I'm sorry. Fairy tale land, not real. Just like Narnia and what's the other one in the Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. That's what Britain is, England. But I do believe Ireland's a real place because some of my ancestors came from Ireland. I have friends in Ireland, and I studied some Irish Gaelic in school for one semester. Don't remember a whole lot of it. I do remember the most famous phrase a lot of Americans know, Ced Mile Welcha, which means 100,000 welcomes, and Sláinte, which is cheers, essentially. You know, it's the drinking salutation. And because I am Celtic pagan, or part of my pagan practice comes from the Celtic pagan tradition, I also borrow from other pagan traditions. I've already mentioned that. I have a really complicated belief system that involves several pantheons, but it's not uncommon for ancestral pagans, ancient pagans, to have recognized deities from other pantheons, so it's perfectly okay for us, I think. I'm also officially a chaos witch. Don't ask me what that means. I did a video on my pagan practices previously. If you want to know what it means to be a pagan chaos witch, go ahead and ask in the comments, and I'll do a video specifically on my actual practice, what I do as a witch. Speaking of which, that reminds me of a movie I need to put on the list. Getting closer. Dang it, I can't type with a cat on my arm. I can't remember the name of that movie Mel Brooks did about the cowboys. What's that movie called? Saddler something? Saddles. Blazing Saddles. There we go. Try not to spoil the list. Oops. So now y'all know that Blazing Saddles is somewhere on the list, I guess. It's okay. I am having a little difficulty because, to be honest, I don't watch a lot of comedies, and it isn't because they offend me. Some of them kind of do, but I can live with that. It's just I find it really hard to get into funny things, you know. I do like TV sitcoms, but that's more the kind of comedy I'm looking for. I do like a lot of absurdist comedies, a lot of slapstick, and for whatever reason, the general masses are against slapstick as a type of comedy. And I think those people are dipshits, and I'm sorry. if you happen to be a dipshit, it's not my fault. It's your fault. So maybe don't be a dipshit and give slapstick another go. That's just all I have to say about that. I hear it all the time. People will say, the movie was great, too much slapstick for me. And I'm like, slapstick is the best comedy, goddammit. Seriously. Like the first 20 years of comedy, all comedies were slapstick. Crying out loud. Anyways, and by the way, don't take it personal if I say something equals dipshit. I'm not calling you personally a dipshit. You might have other qualities that, nullify that. Unless you are anti-slapstick, you love Halloween 1978, you tell me Shining is your favorite movie, and you think the Phantom Menace is garbage. That's 4 strikes, you only get 3. And then I'm just going to brand you a dipshit to your face. I'm sorry, but come on, people. Phantom Menace is a good movie. And I don't mean that unironically. It's not a so bad it's good. It's a legitimately, honest-to-God good movie. It's a, proper blockbuster. Attack of the Clones? That's another story. A lot of people hate on Return of the Jedi. I think those people have some brain damage. Maybe they smoke too much of the bad hash. I don't know. Hash browns. YouTube hash browns. They, you know what I mean? Shredded potatoes. And I am also sort of getting back into proper journalism. I'm going to be doing some articles on my website. I am working on a journalistic type book that I'm going to write. Something, things you don't know about journalism. Peeking behind the curtain a little bit. Anyways, I got to really work on this list, but I don't want to do the whole, I don't want to sit here and, not talk for a video. But I will say a few things. I want to talk a little bit about music. I know y'all know, based on my lists, I really love West Coast G-Funk gangsta rap. But I also listen to West Coast gangsta rap that isn't G-Funk, and West Coast hip-hop that is not gangsta rap. But I also do actually listen to some New York rap. Just not a lot of New York gangsta rap. I listen to a little bit of Nas, a little bit less of Jay-Z than I do Nas, and a smidgen, a sprinkling of other East Coast gangsta rappers, maybe like a song or two of Notorious Fat Ass, aka Biggie Small Balls. Who I am not a tremendous fan of, but I'll give him credit for the 2 or 3 songs I guess he did that are okay. One of them he did with Bone Thugs and Harmony, so that elevated his status for that song. But it is what it is. But I'm not also exclusively into hip hop. I do like some 80s metal, but more specifically the hair metal more than anything, and some of the bubblegum rock. More in terms of 80s, I listen to more of the bubblegum pop, but I also listen to a lot of what they called new wave, but not necessarily the new wave punk, and I know new wave specifically refers to punk, but a lot of people also use that to refer to the synthesizer pop rock stuff, like Depeche Mode, She Blinded Me with Science, stuff like that kind of. Some people say it's more accurate to call it dance pop. I don't consider it dance music. But, stuff like the Pet Shop Boys that I recently discovered are an amazing band. I used to think they only had one good song, which was it East End Girls? West End Girls? Something like that. And then I started listening to some of their catalog at the request of some friends, and I was like, whoa, they're actually pretty dope. They got more than 3 good songs. That's awesome. If a band has more than 5 good songs, I will say, okay, I kind of like the band. Otherwise, it'll be like, I like one of their songs, usually, Like Nirvana. I like Smells Like Teen Spirit. I think the rest of their catalog is garbage. Toxic sewage with some horse shit piled on top. Nothing I enjoy. I am, in general, not a fan of traditional or more accurately classified heavy metal, the more, heavy metal. I'm not not at all a fan of most of the grunge garbage. Even though I grew up in the 90s, I was a teenager in the 90s and a preteen. So grunge was coming on the scene right when I was going through puberty, so I should have been into it because that's all that was on. But I wasn't into it because I was more into the dance pop of the 90s. Or quote, dance music of the 90s. Stuff like Crush by Jellyhead. Anything that would have appeared on a Jock Jams CD. Coming Right at the Train, Quad City DJs, the dance remix. Stuff like that. You kind of get the picture. That sort of stuff. The Macarena, things like that. Cotton Eye Joe. That type of stuff. I do listen to what I classify as epic metal. My girlfriend has told me on multiple occasions what it's officially classified as. I'll describe it as best as I can. It's that European hard metal that has a lot of melodies, and in addition to the guitars, they also have like traditional European like flutes and things, and they usually tell fantasy stories. That's why I call it epic metal. Off the top of my head, I can think of one song. It's by I can't remember who it's by, but it's called Faster by Something Within. Let me look it up. I'll share a couple of songs. I have an epic metal playlist that my girlfriend shared with me. She's obsessed with that stuff. One of her favorite bands is this type of music, but I can't remember what they're called because I always get them confused with the other one, and I do apologize for that. Let's see if I can find my epic metal playlist to give you a better description. Temperance, of Jupiter Moons, Faster, Within Temptation. Within Temptation, I actually like a lot of their songs. Shot in the Dark, Where is the Edge, there's a few others. Forsaken, The Howling, Fire and Ice, a bunch of them. And there's also, I have to go to another playlist. Let's see if I can find it. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I say epic metal. She gave it a different name. I cannot remember the name she gave it. Here's one. Blind Guardian. That's her favorite band. The song is called Nightfall. Oh my god, I love that song. I'll actually listen to that. Wheel of Time, also by Blind Guardian. Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall. I cry every time I listen to that song, so I only listen to it when I have extra tears to give. Storm by Blackmore's Night. Bright Eyes, also by Blind Guardian. Unchained Utopia by a band called Epica. Beast of Jevuadan or something like that by Powerwolf. By the Light of the Northern Star by Tyr, Tyr, Tyr or Tyre. Yeah, just that kind of stuff. So that's some music that I like that I don't talk about. I like some of what you would classify as classic rock today, but I usually just refer to it as hard rock from the 70s and 80s. This would be stuff like Kiss, Alice Cooper, Judas Priest, stuff like that. Some people say they're on the verge of heavy metal, but I've had other people say that they're just hard rock, so I don't know. I don't know the nuances of rock music. I was not allowed to listen to rock music as a kid. It was forbidden in our house because my parents said it was satanic. But I also wasn't allowed to listen to rap music because it was black music, and also because of the topics, the curse words, and stuff like that. But they were okay with me listening to the Beastie Boys, go figure. Yeah, I don't know, my parents were weird. Just like they would let me watch, R-rated horror movies, those were usually okay. but Mrs. Doubtfire was not okay. You can kind of figure why. Give you an idea what my parents were like. Oh, anyways, what else? What else have I not told you about myself that is worth mentioning? Video games. Well, I've done all kinds of videos on my favorite video games. Just off the top of my head, I'll try to name every video game console I've ever owned. I used to have a Sears Telegames Pong 4. Super Pong 4, actually. I used to have an Atari 2600 and a 5200. I've never owned a 7800 or a Jaguar. I did own a Commodore or a ColecoVision at one time, and I owned an Intellivision at one time. And my first game console I ever owned was a Coleco Gemini. Look it up if you don't know what it is. Obviously, yes, I had an NES. At one time I had a Sega Master System, a Genesis 2, a Sega CD Model 2, a 32X. I had a Super Nintendo. I had an original PlayStation, still do. A PS2, still have. PS3 Ultra Slim. That's the one with the sliding tray. Still have it. My PS4 original launch model I got it within the launch year, so launch window, I guess. I got it on the following Black Friday that it came out. Anyways, that I've had a Game Boy Light, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, Nintendo DS, DSi, DS Lite. Never had a 3DS. Never wanted one. I had a Switch. Got it at launch day. Miss it. I have no interest in the Switch 2, but I don't want to get into it. I've had a Sega Saturn, but never a Dreamcast. My sister owned a Dreamcast, so I did get to play hers. I had an Xbox and an Xbox 360. I never owned an Xbox One, but my sister did. Never played it, but it is what it is. I've never owned a Neo Geo or a 3DO. The 3DO I would love to have. I've always wanted a 3DO. I don't care that it sucks. I've always wanted one. I think I had a GameCube, obviously. More than once I've had a GameCube. I would give anything to have another GameCube. I miss the GameCube so fucking much. Technically I can emulate it, but I don't like playing it on the emulator because I'm using a PS3 third-party USB controller, and it doesn't really translate that well to the GameCube layout, and GameCube games they're designed for the GameCube controller, and they're hard to play without it because the button layout is so weird. It's hard to map PlayStation controls or GameCube controls to a PlayStation controller. But I did have a Wii U. Yeah, I loved the Wii U. Fuck off, the haters. The GameCube is probably my favorite Nintendo console of all time. I've had a Nintendo 64 a couple of different times in my life. Never had a Virtual Boy, never wanted one, have no interest in it. I've never owned a Neo Geo. I would like to, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get one. Never owned a TurboGrafx 16. I wouldn't take it if you gave it to me for free. The piece of shit is worthless and beneath me and not worth my time. I have no interest in the goddamn 8-bit piece of garbage pretending to be 16-bit when it ain't, and assholes defending it saying it's the best shooter console. No, it has 22 shoot 'em ups. The Genesis has 56 shoot 'em ups. The Super Nintendo has 27. Both the Super Nintendo on its own and the Sega Genesis are way better consoles for shooters. So if you're going to say, well, it has the best shooters, no, again, it doesn't. Most of the shooters that are on the piece of shit TurboGrafx 16 that you dipshit assholes defend have superior counterparts on either the Genesis or the SNES, or there's actually legitimately superior shooters on both the Genesis and the SNES. Biohazard Battle, Thunderstrike, UN Squadron, all the Raiden games, the fucking Urban Strike, Jungle Strike, etc. Those are all fucking fantastic games. No, I could go on and on and on. No, if you're a shoot 'em up, side scrolling, isometric, or top scrolling, horizontal scrolling, it doesn't matter. If you're a fan of shooters at all, you're a lion sack of shit if you think the TurboGrafx 16 is the best console for shooters. Especially considering that about a third of the shooters that are on the TurboGrafx 16 have NES counterparts. And spoilers, the 8-bit TurboGrafx 16, which is also a lion piece of garbage, versions aren't even better than the 8-bit versions on the NES because, spoilers, it's an 8-bit console, you dumbasses. Don't believe the fucking lying marketing people who told you it was 16-bit when it wasn't. The Japanese version, PC Engine, they never marketed it as a 16-bit console because they didn't have to, because people knew that 8-bit wasn't inferior to 16-bit. They were okay with Famicom for well into the 90s. Came on the Super Famicom train years later, some of them, most of them in fact. So no, stop giving me bullshit about the TurboGrafx 16. It sucks. Accept it. Get the fuck over it. And just admit you like something that fucking sucks and quit trying to tell people it doesn't suck when it very goddamn well does. Not to mention that Bonk's Adventure on the NES, Super Bonk on the SNES, both versions, are either comparable in the case of the 8-bit NES version, which is not inferior in any significant, meaningful way to the equally 8-bit TurboGrafx version. And Super Bonk is vastly superior to every version on the 8-bit TurboGrafx because it's a true 16-bit console. Never mind that it's technically a 8-bit class CPU, but it can do some 16-bit math. But it's got the RAM and the GPU that make up for it, so, that is that. But we don't need to get into the technical bits and bytes. We just need to accept the fact that the TurboGrafx 16 is a goddamn piece of garbage, and I had to get that rant off my chest because I'm sick and fucking tired of piece of shit assholes like Pat Contri, aka Pat the NES punk ass bitch. That's my word for it, description of him, trying to tell people the TurboGrafx 16 is actually a secretly good console. No, it isn't. I'll admit that 3DO is a piece of shit. I'll also freely admit I still want one despite it's a piece of shit. I don't care. I'm not going to tell people it's secretly good when it ain't. Just like the Jaguar is not secretly good and needs a second look. No, it sucks. And all these dumbasses that are coming out of the woodwork recently to try to say, actually it's an overlooked hidden gem. No, it fucking isn't. The goddamn thing couldn't even sell 500,000 units. It's a piece of shit because it's a piece of shit. Not because people didn't give it a chance. They didn't need to give it a chance because it's a fucking piece of shit. God damn it. Oh, Tempest 2000. Yeah, that's a game that belongs on the Atari 7800. You fucking dumbasses. That's not even a 16-bit game. That game should have been on the Super Nintendo at best. Don't tell me that a supposedly 16-bit, which is properly actually 32-bit console, best game is a fucking 8-bit arcade piece of shit. Get over it, goddammit. Tempest 2000 fucking sucks anyways. It's not a hidden gem. It's not a game you missed out on. It's a piece of garbage, which, spoilers, isn't even exclusive to the Jaguar. And if that's the best game on the Jaguar, then you know the rest of the console's library is equally goddamn garbage. It has a half-ass version of Doom. The superior version is the 32X version, the 32-bit version on the 32X, more accurately. Yeah, it's missing some stages, but I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Everybody was playing the shareware version anyways. We never even had the full game in the first place, even those of us that played the real, actual, proper PC version. So no, who gives a fuck? It's missing a few stages. It looks just as good and plays just as well as the shareware version on the PC, which is what most people played. Alright, so TurboGrafx, big stinking pile of dog shit. 3DO, a big stinking pile of horse shit. The Atari Jaguar, a big stinking pile of zombie shit. Alright? Yes, dead-ass Walking Dead zombies took a shit, and that is the Atari Jaguar. God damn it. 32-bit is a hidden 32X, excuse me, can't talk. Is a legit hidden gem system. More people need to give a second chance. Same as the Saturn, although I think the Saturn lovers are try to overhype it. It is not as good as the PlayStation at all. It is not as good as the Nintendo 64 at all. It is not on the same level. And I don't just mean hardware specs. Who cares? The games are not good on the Saturn. The vast majority. The console itself is pretty good. It's better than the 3DO. Miles better than the Atari Jaguar. Only marginally better than the 32X, which is actually a legitimately good system. It's barely a half step better than the 32X. But it is not as good as the N64, the Dreamcast, obviously, or the PlayStation. So let's squash that bug. Okay? It's good on its own. Don't try to claim it's something it ain't. Alright? Let's just stop overhyping shit that doesn't need to be overhyped. The N64 is an adequate system. It's not a fantastic system. It's not a great system. If you got it as a kid, you only like it because of the nostalgia, because you had it as a goddamn kid. As an adult playing it for the first time, I will tell you it was not God's gift to humanity, and it's by far the best thing Nintendo ever did. I will go on record as saying the Wii U is better than the N64. Come at me, bitches. Is the N64 a piece of shit? Not technically, but it's awfully goddamn close, considering it was a cartridge system when it damn well should have been a CD-ROM system, and they should have just included the expansion pack, the extra RAM, and then the CD-ROM thing with a 2-speed, 3-speed, 2 or 4-speed CD-ROM, whatever, wouldn't have been an issue. The load times, it would have been acceptable. PlayStation sold 101 million systems, and it had terrible ass loading times. It was CD-ROM. Nintendo shouldn't have given a flying fuck about load times. That was an excuse. They just wanted to stick to cartridges so they could control the manufacturing process. That's it. They were greedy bastard motherfuckers. Just like they're being greedy with the Switch 2, wanting you to buy $100 worth of accessories to play a $10 demo. Excuse me? Fuck off, Nintendo. Eat your grandmother's dead horses, or your grandmother's dead asshole. Okay, your dead grandmother's asshole is what I'm trying to say. Just eat it, okay? Because we're tired of your bullshit. And I didn't sell my Switch, by the way, or any of my Nintendo consoles, because I hate Nintendo. I can buy used systems and guarantee they don't get my motherfucking money and still enjoy their shit. I've had to sell all my consoles, including my Switch, because I lost my job and I didn't want to lose my house. You know, because I owned the house at the time, but I still had to pay taxes and I had to pay lot space, lot rent, and utilities. So yeah, there you go. That's all I got to say. Stay cool. I'll make more videos later.